Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app or go to PrizePicks.com and use that promo code Leading Off when you do. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. That, of course, is the Welsh, and it's you. I see all the peanuts and the Cracker Jacks in the chat live on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's great. Welsh has got the trade video. I believe it hasn't dropped yet, but I believe it's dropping any minute now.
Soon. When will then be now? Soon.
That's 2 times we've gotten to use that reference this week, which is great.
What's that from?
I love that.
What's that from?
Oh, it's Spaceballs, of course.
Thank you very much.
Rick Moranis is so great in Spaceballs. Rick Moranis is so great too. I can't think of a bad Rick Moranis movie.
You know, I would say because everyone's going to go to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and stuff like that, or Zoltar or whatever he was in Ghostbusters. But him as Dark Helmet was one of the greatest performances of all time. It's an old movie. It's my absolute favorite, Spaceballs. It is great, and he steals the show in the whole movie.
Because Druish princesses love money and power, and I have both. He's just and you don't realize every now and then you have to just kind of take the perspective of how big the helmet is and how little of a man he is. It is hysterical. Like, think about it. He's in Little Giants, which is amazing. He's in Ghostbusters. He is in we were just talked about Spaceballs. I mean, the whole Rick Moranis canon is pretty unbelievable. I'm sure there's a ton of movies I'm forgetting too.
What's he doing? What's the last thing
he's living his best life? A couple years ago, he got knocked out in New York. Some random person punched him.
Punched him?
Yeah, just punched him. He was assaulted. Oh, Little Shop of Horrors, another Rick Moranis classic.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one.
Parenthood, amazing movie with Steve Martin. He's fantastic. My Blue Heaven, there's some bad movies here. As I'm looking, there are a few bad ones.
Like
Not
what?
many. Well, there's some ones that are a little up, let's see. The Flintstones.
But what's the last movie he did? Like, how long ago?
It's been a while. He basically kind of semi-retired, but the man is a national treasure, even though he's Canadian. So I can't.
Don't you never interrupt me when I'm playing with my dolls?
No, I didn't see you playing with your dolls again, sir. All right, let's get to the baseball. And I can't believe it. We're getting Bryce Harper. So here we are. This is happening, Welsh. This is unbelievable. And had I known that we were going to get Bryce Harper this early, I would have drafted him with the 2nd round pick. Because you know how I felt about Tatis, and I was taking him with practically a 1st round pick anyway, because he was missing 2 weeks. If I knew Harper was just missing a month, I would have been like, yeah, give him to me in the late 2nd round, early 3rd round, 100%. I'm still concerned. I am cautiously optimistic, but what are your thoughts, feelings, emotions about the Harper imminent return here that we're going to get?
Yeah, I think it's really big. To your point, what we got Tatis in the mid 2nd round, knowing we were going to miss the 20 days. If you knew it was going to be 2 more weeks, Harper would have probably been, I think, an early 3rd round pick, somewhere between probably somewhere in there, maybe even scratch right at the top of the end of the 2nd, somewhere in the 3rd. But this is huge, though. I think there is a big worry from a lot of people. And I'm actually very curious, Joe, your thought on this. If there is a theoretical sell high moment right now. So just follow me for a second. Obviously, if you drafted him, especially in redraft, you've hung out, you're good to go. But if you're a worrying worrier at all that he's coming back so early, there's a lot of people. A worrying worrier. A worrying worrier.
It's like a worry wart, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what that is, a worry wart. But
because there's a lot of you out there that are just like, oh, those guys are going to get hurt. He's going to be back on the IL.
I'm worried. July.
Okay, so do you trade him? Because his trade value today might be one of the absolute high. I mean, obviously, if he goes and performs high, blah, 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 that'd be good. But he's going to be a DH. He's coming back early. I do not feel this way, but I'm curious, would you consider trading him at the highest of level, almost treating him like a prospect, highest trade values before he plays?
It depends on where it depends on what my cost was to get him. Probably I'm just holding now because I'm just loving life that I have him on my roster and we're a month in. And I think
I agree with this. I agree with all of this. The bat is here. It's exciting. He'll be a DH and everything like that. But it is a little bit soon. It's a little bit sooner than anything else.
Early.
But it's impactful. I got multiple teams. I got to put them in my lineup today. It's going to be good for the Phillies general and just ride it.
All right. The Mets are activating Max Scherzer. He's not going to pitch today, though, because some slight weather concerns. So they just said, let's go out tomorrow instead. So far, Scherzer on the year, 3.72 ERA, 1.19 whips, 17 Ks to 9 walks and 19 innings. So it's been a little up and down. Mauricio Dubon, though, was a player on my waiver wire video a few weeks ago, plural, weeks with an S. And the guy has just continued to do nothing but hit 3 for 5 yesterday with a double, 2 runs, a stolen base. I kept telling everybody, it's not like you're going to get power out of this guy, but as long as, especially once Chas McCormick went down, who was also playing well at the time and hitting at the top of this order, he sort of took over in that spot. And Dubon was a player whose roster percentage was so low. And I just said, look, add this guy, at least in the stopgap. You've got a great opportunity here to get some runs scored. You got a great opportunity to get some batting average, which is a hard thing to find. So Dubon has been terrific this year. One of the, I think, unsung heroes of at least the Houston Astros lineup.
Well, and the ability to lead off. The Astros are always looking for a guy to lead off. He's fast. He makes contact. It's just a good environment for him to score a lot of runs as well. So, yeah, I think he's sneaky. He's sneaky. And the Astros just want to, stick a guy there and just not worry about it anymore. That's what they try to do with Jeremy Pena. Dubon might be it.
Yeah. Let's go to a fun bit of news. Another day, another young starting pitcher, Bryce Miller. So we're getting Miller versus Miller today, which is really exciting.
Miller time.
It's going to be enormous Miller time. So far in 2023, a double-A, again, making the jump here. Bryce Miller from double-A, right? Or am I looking at the wrong stats here?
No, you're right about this. Because Bryce...
Yeah,
Bryce, and by the way, if you remember, Bryce was the very first guy I spoke to in spring training. This was one of those guys I was able to chat with. During spring, he was so good. He was fooling the major leaguers on this team. But, obviously they had their roster set. They wanted to send him down. I don't know why they put him at double-A. He didn't perform well, which made
I was going to say, the ERA has been terrible. He's a 6 ERA. So, and they keep saying they want to get, quote, an extended look at him. So this is a little perplexing because I know a lot of people are looking again for more pitching because we have these pitching injuries. So this jump to double-A after the spring performance and the bad double-A, do you think this is just sulking for him a little bit?
What do you mean?
In other words, you expected maybe to be a AAA this year, maybe expected, if he performed well in the spring, things will go better. The fact he's been at double-A, do you think that he's been disappointed? He's kind of taken that personally, and that's hence the poor performance.
No, he's actually he's a super what's up, bro? Chill type of dude. He is a total cool cucumber to the fullest. So I don't think so at all. What I do think is interesting, and I wonder, and I didn't really look into it, is if there was a thought, and think about this for a second. Obviously, the Mariners AAA plays PCL, and maybe they didn't want to put their pitchers in that environment, and they've got all their top prospects for double-A: Bryce Miller, Dollard, Emerson Hancock, Prelander. So maybe the environment that they wanted their pitchers to be in was in a double-A environment and not kind of set them back in AAA. Just a thought here. But Bryce Miller almost had a rotation spot coming out of spring, and he's the guy that he did what everybody else did. He kind of scrapped a traditional slider and he turned it into a gyro and a sweeper. And he had actually said that I think it was the sweeper he's more comfortable with right now. And then you've also got that gyro. So you've got 2 points of a slider, a great fastball. This guy has a awesome arsenal. And I actually think he's going to surprise. And, maybe I'm just a little because I've been around him much. I think he outperforms the other Mason Miller tonight. And I'm a big speculate on Bryce Miller guy right now. I would pick him up.
He's going to get a little bit of a run here. A lot of questions too I see about Matthew Liberatore in the chat. I mean, look, I told you 2 weeks ago to add this guy. I mean, you should be adding him without a doubt. And by now, he's still, the roster percentage is still low. So you should definitely go out there and acquire him. Here's an interesting one too. The Twins activated Alex Krilloff from the 10-day IL yesterday, and the option of the AAA, which we kind of talked about was going to happen.
Yeah.
At AAA, hitting .316 with 4 dingers, 2 steals in 11 games this year. Should people be adding Alex Krilloff? Because he's another guy that I think might make my waiver wire video once I kind of look at some of the across the board roster percentages of him.
I mean, yeah, I want to say because I'm a stupid believer in him still, but
would you rather be throwing? Think about this. Aaron Judge went on the IL, right? We'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, that's a very big deal. We were saving that for the injury quotient. There's a lot of big injuries to get to. But you're trying to plug that spot right now. Do you think Krilloff is up enough time to help with that?
No, but see, that's my problem. It's
right.
I don't see where the spot is. Someone has to go down for the Twins for him to come back up, and it's got to be very specific. It's going to have to be a left fielder, a DH first base. It'd have to be Gallo again. So I don't see where the spot's going to come from because of, I guess you could say, is his lack of versatility right now, because Larnach's not giving up any time. Gallo's been actually a hot bat. So I want him. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And I just don't know what the translation is going to be. So as cool as it is, I probably would go in different directions with guys that are still crazy under 50% owned in so many leagues. I mean, the amount of Sawinski not being owned is absurd to me. So I would probably pass on Krilloff until like the moment someone is injured, then you could bring him up, because I just think it'd be like holding on to him too long.
Adam Wainwright, coming back from the groin injury, 9 strikeouts and 5 2/3 on Sunday for him, by the way, in that final tune-up start. So he should be, he could be floating around in some leagues right now, undrafted. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes here, because the Astros rotation has taken, it's been a bad couple days. It's been a bad week for the Astros rotation. On Monday's show, we were just talking about like, man, they got Hunter Brown and they've got Christian Javier and they're doing Framber Valdez. They're starting to look really good. And then Garcia gets hurt, removed from the start last,
8 pitches into that. I was watching that game because I took the inverse. If everybody listened on the betting side, I take the Giants +5 through the first 5 that cashed, but I was paying attention. I saw Garcia come out and I was like, oh, we're going to take this. And then they gave up a run and then they got it all back. But that was really worrisome because 8 pitches in did not look good. And it's on the lines of like the DeGrom, anytime you're hearing these arm injuries, you're just like, okay, well, we're done.
Well, and on top of that, Yaquiti is on the 15 AIL with the shoulder issue. So you got one with an elbow, one with a shoulder. Both are very concerning. Where do the Astros go here for starting pitching? Because it's a good team. And look, Hunter Brown's been very fruitful. So who's next man up for them, in your opinion?
Well, as weird as it might sound, it actually might be Forrest Whitley time. I mean, I'm having a hard time figuring out where
what I thought the answer would be too, and I wanted to hear someone else say it besides me.
Well, they've got, I think it's JP France that's out there. That could be someone that, they could go down that road because I think he's been pretty decent. The problem is Whitley, really bad ERA so far, but underlying metrics as far as like strikeouts have been there. But I'm looking, the walk totals are high, the home run totals are high. I just don't know if they would ensure any trust in putting him out there. You know what? I just don't know if I would speculate regardless, even if it's one of those guys, even if it's like France or Whitley. I don't know if I would want to be carrying or holding on to either of those guys.
Now, those are PCL numbers out there. So his 6 ERA, unlike Bryce Miller's 6 ERA, is actually from the PCL. So that's one thing to say about it.
And his xFIP's a little bit better. It's like 5.84, but the home run numbers are pretty alarming. Not leaving anybody on base, and he's walking 4. I don't know. It's a great question. I just don't think it matters.
Well, because they've got 2.
It's not
honestly, if you can grab both those guys for nothing and wait and find out, because there's 2 spots. So it almost is like if you have the roster depth to do it in a deeper league, you add the 2, you see what's going on, and hopefully one of them is good. And there's going to be opportunity here. There's 2 open spots in the rotation there.
This is another one of those teams, though, that it's like we talked about this with the Mariners, where it's like if they could start to get aggressive with anybody, I feel like the Astros might want to give a call around. Like we talked about Eduardo Rodriguez. Someone I'll talk about in the trade video. But also the White Sox, that's a team that everybody's kind of looking at maybe moving. Just they could probably use like anything than what they have right now.
These back-to-back injuries, if I'm the Astros, I'm on the phone to Detroit today. Because there's no way you're getting both of these guys. Like, there's no way you're not getting negative news on at least one of them. We're talking like out for the year kind of thing. Like, it just feels like one of those situations potentially. Rodriguez would be a huge get for them. And look, they've still got some pieces in order to move. I mean, I know they're not quite, as stacked as they used to be, but the Astros still have some pieces that they can get the job like that done. The Aaron Judge 10-day IL stint, retroactive to the 28th with a right hip strain. Here's the Yankee order tonight. You ready for this, Welsh? Anthony Volpe, Anthony Rizzo, Anthony Gleyber Torres. No, just Gleyber Torres. DJ LeMahieu, Willie Calhoun, Harrison Bader, Oswaldo Cabrera, IKF, and Kyle Higashioka. This feels like something the Tigers would be running out. Like, this is not good, Welsh. Like, this is a rough... This is not the Yankees lineup right here. And Tanner Bybee's on the mound tonight, by the way.
They could use a couple Tonys in there with their Anthonys as well. A couple more Tonys would be good. I mean, I like Bybee a lot tonight. Yeah, no, it's not good. The depth has not been good. They've got this slew of rookies that they're putting out there, but with some garbagey type of play. It's actually amazing to me. I was thinking, like, you see these videos of the Padres winning and like Rougned Odor is in the background, and then the Yankees are trotting out like Willie Calhoun. Like, I can't believe these guys are still in Major League Baseball too. But yeah, the Yankees need some help.
I like this one. Wonky says, send Lance Lynn to Houston. Yes, please. Let's go.
Yeah,
get out of the White Sox. Just get out of there. That it's just crazy right now.
I could see the Astros moving someone like Pedro Leon, and then because White Sox love the Cuban players, and then maybe like a pitcher, and then getting Lance Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would the White Sox be holding on to anymore. So that actually might be it. There might be a fit there, but God knows when the hell these trades start going down.
Wonky saying that's not an actual lineup. Yes, it is. It's on Fantasy Labs right now, and I'm looking at it. So I mean, today that's what the projected lineup's going to be. But it's been a rough year for them. Also, a rough day, at least for Ronald Acuna. He got blasted in the shoulder by a pitch. I shouldn't laugh. It's sad. He got hurt.
Yeah, why are you laughing about that? He
I don't know. I guess
because
because I'm a Mets fan, and Ronald Acuna has been killing them for years now, and somebody finally just threw one high and tight on him and nailed him. So I mean, this is what they used to do back in the day. Back in my day, they used to throw inside on guys, but nobody gets out of the way. Everyone's jumping in the plate because nobody fears anybody. Pedro Martinez was a great pitcher. But part of the reason Pedro Martinez was such a great pitcher, because you were intimidated and afraid. He was going to back you off the plate. He was going to dust you if he had to. You don't see any fear nowadays is there a pitcher in your opinion, Scherzer. Maybe a Scherzer or somebody like that that pitches inside or that you fear a little bit if you're a hitter? I don't think there's anybody out there that's intimidating.
It's Scherzer's number one.
Scherzer's number one for me too, but people forget Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez. Yes, they were great at their craft, but part of their craft was that intimidation factor. And these guys get plunked sometimes because they just don't see it coming because they have no fear whatsoever of anybody throwing inside on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other guys. I mean, pinpoint accuracy. There's a lot of focus on. I mean, how many guys do you really look at these days also and look and see that Maddox-esque command of the zone? I think there's less of those guys. I'm not trying to say that everyone's a thrower now, but the art of pitching also has become a lot more about eye deception and fooling where it's going than it is pinpointing points in the zone. Mm-hmm. Not to say the guys don't do it, but that's probably a part of it because guys are like, yeah, well, I can't hit the zone, but I can spin this 3,000 and this is going to screw with everyone's eyes. So I think there's a little bit less trust in that. That's just not a part of the game anymore.
There was nothing more terrifying when you get up to the plate knowing somebody is going to throw inside on you. Even at the high school level, you knew kids of certain teams, and some of you were playing some of those higher level travel teams. You knew some of those guys out there. If you're playing a couple rounds with them, you're like, yeah, you would have watched this guy a little bit.
Or how about on MLB The Show? Like I did it last night to Bogman playing old school baseball. Someone hits a homer and then they throw it in.
Plunked the next guy.
I absolutely did it. Yeah, I had some thing happen and Bogman had Ricky Henderson in. I plunked Ricky right away. I don't care if he's on base. I'm going to let him know what's up.
Nice. You can have Ricky Henderson. That's great. That's fun.
Have them all. I had Ernie Banks.
This summer I will get it so I can hang out and play.
Get it now. Come on, let's get going.
I can't. I am coaching football. I'm writing another black book. I got no time. Maybe in June. That's the best I can do for you. Best I can do is June. Carlos Carrasco on track to return next week. So all the Mets pitchers are coming back. Verlander's coming back. Scherzer's coming back. Carrasco's coming back. We'll see how it all goes down. Luis Severino also set to rejoin the rotation in the next 2 to 3 weeks, so he's going to.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Well, Herman was very good yesterday. Not that they did anything with it, but what are you going to do? 3 up and 3 down from yesterday. Mookie Betts 3 for 5 with a homer, a double, 3 ribbies in a big win over the Phillies. We targeted them yesterday. He said Taijuan Walker. Let's go against him. Fernando Tatis Jr. 3 for 5 with a run scored over the Reds. And speaking of the Reds, can we talk about Nick Senzel 3 for 4 with a homer? What the hell's going on here? You want to talk about post hype sleeper? Is Nick Senzel figured it out, or is this just we've stepped into the upside down here? What's going on?
I mean, if there is something I am getting wrong this year, it is giving the proper attribution to players that are turning around. Because what year is this? Cody Bellinger looks elite. Jared Kelenic looks better than Julio right now. And Nick Senzel is going back. This is the wild world of prospects that didn't work out, and it's actually happening. I mean, I think it's fine. My problem with Nick Senzel at the end of the day is I don't actually think he'll ever be a great counting stats player. Bellinger, huge homers, steals bases. Kelenic, kind of the same thing. I think Nick Senzel, great if he's feeling it and he's starting to hit better. This is awesome. I still think he's
Senzel's more of a points league guy to me.
Maybe a 15-15 guy.
Yeah, but he was more of a points league guy. And it's so funny because coming in that draft class, and usually I'm pretty good on this stuff. That was the guy that I thought was the most major league ready. That was the guy that I thought was a really polished college hitter who was going to come in and he was just going to be a good major leaguer. I didn't think he was going to be superstar, but I thought he was the quickest riser. And I know I'm not the only one. Jonathan Mayo, I actually had on my show talking about the same exact thing, and he agreed with me. It's one of those rare prospects that I was completely wrong about, and maybe there's still time, but I mean, this has been a fun ride here for the last week.
The only thing that might be different about him than like if we just want to use like Kelnick as like the bar here. I know a lot of people, anytime any prospect is not good, everyone puts Joe Adell in the chat and stuff. But the difference is,
he's
like,
been good this year in the minor leagues too.
He's been fine. He's still doing his stuff. Nick Senzel is just always hurt. He's consistently hurt. So think about the maturation time, the time missed to fix and work through and become a better player. Look at Jared Duran. That was always my thing about
Buxton, Welsh. Buxton was the same thing. He was hurt every single year. And I always thought that was, for a guy who was more athlete than baseball player, those developmental years were essential. I think it's why he never became, as I said, my comp for him was going to be Eric Davis if he figured it out.
Well, and it took a little bit. It took a little while. But like, look at Jaron Duran right now. Jaron Duran has had what you would call like a couple rough years. He looks phenomenal right now. He's completely changed his approach. He's hitting lefties like crazy. He's hitting both sides of the plate. He's showing power because he's more comfortable. And that was a little bit more consistent time, though he was sent up and down. Nick Senzel is like hurts his ankle. He's got like a little headache. He breaks something. It's always hurt. He's always out. He's always missing games. The consistency of learning has kind of escaped him. And then, you have to piece together what might take a guy 150 games, over one season or 2 seasons. It's taken him like 250 over like 4 seasons. So that's kind of a little bit of the difference. So yeah, I'm open to the possibility that he is back, but I still see him as like a 15-15 type of guy.
All right, here are some of the downs from yesterday. Taijuan Walker, again, 8 earned runs, 3 1/3. Luke Weaver, not good, 9 hits, 4 earned runs. His ERA is at 7.88. Walker's at 6.91. And Jose Barrios, there we go. We got it, right?
Barrios.
There he is. There he is. I see you. I see the real Jose. I see you with the 5 innings, the 5 1/3, 11 hits, 5 earned, 2 dingers he gave up there. What a disaster. What a hot mess. Like he is I don't like to throw this around, but he's disappointing. Just disappointing. Like what that guy could have been.
You're like, I'm not mad. I'm just
not. I'm mad and disappointed. If I could be both of those things. You know what doesn't make me mad actually, which rarely disappointing? PrizePicks. That's right. Use the promo code leading off. Sign up today. Get 100% deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app for PrizePicks. Go to PrizePicks.com, or again, whenever you go and do it, go use the promo code leading off. Have some fun. Make some prize picks. Welsh. Prize picking for me today, I've got Joey Lucchesi. How you doing? 4.5 Ks over. Joe Ryan, 6 Ks over. Zach Gallen, 7 Ks over. I'm going over all over the place. Today is a great day for betting. I've got so many bets out there today. I'm telling you, it's, yesterday was blah. Today is the opposite.
It's a good strikeout day. There's a lot of good strikeouts out there too.
God, I'm so invested today. Let's go. What do you got for the people?
All right, so what have I put together here? I have got on the PrizePicks today, speaking of strikeouts, Hunter Brown and Sandy Alcantara combo strikeouts at 12.5. I'm going to take the over on that because I very much like Hunter Brown today, and I like Alcantara, both on separate bets. I'm going with Wander Franco's score, 7.5, little heater, and Joe Ryan's score, 37.5, and I think he has hit that number 3 or 4 out of the last 5, and it's going up against White Sox, which I'm attacking at all times. So that is my 3 picks, even though you can go up to 5 on PrizePicks if you want. Those are my 3, 20 to 100. Cash it, baby. Let's cash. Yesterday, the stupid first run homers are the only thing that killed me with
stupid.
What's his name?
I'll
the
never
Giants
forget
pitcher. I completely forgetting the stupid Giants pitcher yesterday. Stripling, Ross Stripling. Giving up that first inning run.
Join the betting group, everybody. Bettingpros.com/leading off, because I want to tell everybody the winner for the month of April. Very, very proud of this person. It's me. I had the highest winning percentage, by the way, for the month of April, but the best ROI belongs to Maikeda. Maikeda 1. So I don't know if it's Maikeda 1, Mikiata 1. I don't know how to say it, but Mick, you won.
Put your fingers out. Hey, Maikeda 1.
So Mick, what we need you to do is reach out to us. Hit up Mike Mayer. We were going to take care of you, get you some nice things here. Maybe a little betting pros, something or something. We'll see. But we congratulations, the month of April. 12.5 return on investment. Very good. 63.2% winning percentage for him. Very good as well. I was at 17%, so a little higher for me. And right behind him at winning percentage was 61.2 for the month of April. So congratulations to Maikeda. 1. Let's get in touch with, obviously you're watching the shows, you're hanging out with us. We're going to get you in touch with Mike Mayer. We're going to have you reach out to you, and we're going to get you something nice there. So I encourage everybody, month of May just started. Come get on the wagon. Today I got so many bets, Welsh. Oh, I got so many bets. Joey Lucchese said over 4.5. You get a -109. Stram, 5.5 Ks. Gonna go the over here. I know Betting Pros is saying the under, but he's been really good. And the lefties with the Dodgers sometimes give them a little bit of trouble. Hunter Brown, 6.5 strikeouts. I know Betting Pros is saying the under. Against San Fran, I think he can go the over. I'm over on everybody today. It's so many strikeouts today, Welsh. 4.5 for Bryce Elder, such a small number. Got to go the over on that one. Tanner Bybee, just 4.5. I got to go the over. It's just a small number. Zach Gallen, 6.5 over. The guy's been dominant. Texas strikes out a ton. And Joe Ryan's at 5.5. You can get that in some spots right now over on Betting Pros. 5.5, that's absurd. Go get that. So again, it's a day of overs and strikeouts. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 basically out there. I think I'm going to go 6 for 8 today on these overs. That's what I think. That's my prediction. What do you think, Welsh? What do you guys got out there for betting wise today?
By the way, even mention it. It's even on the sheet here. I was third in both winning percentage and ROI for everybody to know. So on both sides of that for last month, I would have been much higher too if we just could have tracked my team total runs through the first 5. We'll get there. But today I do have one of those, but I'm going to start with the K's. I am 100% with you on Hunter Brown strikeouts. I took it as a straight up bet. So 6.5 over. I'm taking Sandy Alcantara and Tanner Bybee, and I'm pairing them together, and I'm getting plus 200. Definitely comfortable putting them separate if you can find the right juice, which I'm not 100% sure. So that's why I paired them together. So now I did see Sandy at 6.5 in some places. So I did this last night. Sandy 5.5, Bybee 5.5, both over comboed. And then my team total run play so far today, the only one I've locked in is Minnesota, 2.5 over through the first 5 against Chicago. I'm actually doing that again just because it is Michael Kopech and he has been balak. And hopefully I'll have a few other bets that'll be out there. But make sure that everybody joins up on the Betting Pros group.
Love Ryan today, and also I think Bybee and the Cleveland Guardians can beat Garrett Cole tonight. That's right. They are big underdogs tonight, and Bybee looked real good. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And Cole's fantastic, but I think at a certain point when you look at the offense and the bullpen, can they get him enough runs? That's the question. And can Bybee go out there and throw another gem like he did last time? It's enough of an underdog that I'm on it. The other thing I'm on, which is really cool. In fact, I was watching a bunch of videos. I got stuck in a rabbit hole watching some guy just open up old baseball card packs. I don't know how I got into this last night. Just started watching it. I was just flipping through and there's a thing. And I started watching all the videos. It was hilarious. Like, packs from the 80s and 90s. But if you like that sort of feel, then you're going to love So Rare. So Rare is an incredible fun way to get out there. It's free to play fantasy baseball game with digital licensed cards from all 30 major league teams. Head to fantasypros.com/collect today. Start building your rosters. Start playing. Again, it's free. Go check it out. fantasypros.com/collect. So Rare for MLB. The next era is yours. Now, for DFS today, Joey Lucchese is cheap. Tanner Bybee is cheap as an oppo play. It's only an oppo play for tournaments. Joe Ryan at 11K is cheaper than Zach Gallen at 11.8. Hunter Brown's cheaper than both at 10.2, and Matt Strahm is another one, 8.6. You've got Minnesota, Toronto, and the New York Mets today in terms of stacks. Jose Abreu is cheap at 2.5. Brett Beatty is cheap at 2.4. Those are some guys you can get in the lineups. And for the home run call today, I'm going with Pete Alonso. I'm going to go with the polar bear. I'm a little ice cold. So I figure, if I'm going to be ice cold, I might as well hang out with the polar bear. Your thoughts? Who's the home run call for the day?
I was torn. I got two choices in my head, and I'm actually going with the second choice. So that means Cody Bellinger's going to hit a homer tonight because I wanted to pick him. But it's also one of those, like, he's been so hot. It's like, he can't keep hitting homers. I'm actually going to go with Ryan Mountcastle going up against Ryan Yarborough and the Royals. So give me Ryan Mountcastle for the home run call today, even though Bellinger was calling my name.
All right. And the home run board is a good one. Again, prime time. Up at the top at 14, BHB at 12, and then you got a bunch of other folks. Zerdo up to 11, so Zerdo's moving up that chain. Razors at 11, Callison's at 11, and a bunch of folks with 10 as well. Go to fantasypros.com/discord in order to join that. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you're watching on the YouTube, and you can win a 1-year free premium upgrade to Fantasy Pros. That's right. It's going to help you through baseball season, through football season, through all the seasons of your life. the Fantasy Pros premium upgrade is there for you. Or just go to fantasypros.com, go premium, then join the Discord, fantasypros.com/chat, and go make some home run calls. And we love everybody hanging out with the wagering stuff too. That group has grown significantly over the first month. Again, you don't have to make wagers. You just have to go and join us and make picks. It's a fun thing to do. So go out there and do it. We'll be back again tomorrow to talk about all the many things and hopefully a lot of strikeouts. That's what I want to talk about, Welsh. Lots of Ks on the board today, and hopefully we'll free Brendan Font at some point. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time.